Hi, my name's Dee, your Professor of Woo Woo, and welcome to Untitled Tarot, and welcome to the general reading for the full moon in Pisces, 28 degrees 13 minutes in Pisces, on the 20th or the 21st, depending where you are in the world. Now, I'm going to do a basic full moon gods at play reading for the entire energy, so not sign specific. And then I'm going to pull 3 tarot for each individual sign. So with my gods at play readings, what we have is the top row of cards as the masks that the archons are wearing to keep us suppressed, oppressed, vibrating in misery and fear, and all the various things that is related to the archons. And the bottom row are those gods trying to lift us up, trying to support us and help us reconnect with the divine or maintain our connection with the divine. Those gods that are actually working to support us. Now, by their very nature, these sort of readings are dramatic. So remember, it's symbolism, it's allegory, you know. So as dramatic as the cards can get, it's not, well, I mean, it is. It's a general reading. Take it with a pinch of salt, you know, but also look at it as symbols, not as straight on. Now, I will also clarify the God cards. Now, this time, I've actually been led to clarify with my Babylon 5 collectible card game, which I've never actually played. I bought them for this. So, because I was looking what to clarify with, and I didn't want to use tarot since I'm using tarot at the end. And so these popped into my head. So why not? I've learned to listen to these sort of things. So let me just change cameras. And bear in mind, as a general reading, you know, it's, well, like I say, take it with a pinch of salt. So as the masks that the archons are wearing on this top row, we have Isis with protection, Set with chaos, Thanatos with death, Maman Brigitte with redemption, and Artemis as the goddess of light. Now, this is telling me immediately that people are encouraged to act in a protective manner, to be set, sorry, excuse the pun, to be confronted with some form of chaos, some form of change that makes them want to act in a protective manner, in a sort of a Four of Pentacles manner. You know, these are my coins, you're not having them. And it's also, what is interesting with the Maman Brigitte and Artemis, it's almost like there's a message put out there that this is the way, to quote the Mandalorian. This is the way. This is how to make things better. This is how to solve things. Now, bear in mind that an overall message like this coming from the archons is never going to be in our interest. And that wanting to confront that protective urge, it's really odd when you look at the gods that are arranged to support us. So we start off with Eostre, with new beginnings. That's German goddess of Easter, or Germanic, sorry, I should say, not German. And White Buffalo Woman with peace. We have Vishnu with balance. Demeter with harvest. I've got something to say about that card. Lilith with equality, and Aradia with defense. So now this immediately speaks up to the idea that certain amount of angers are justified, but you really have to be careful in how you are expressing them, and that your priority needs to be concerned with your own concerned with your own welfare first, before being concerned with how your message that you are fighting for or arguing for is presented. Because this rather implies, especially with Demeter with harvest, that yeah, you've a right to be angry about something, But you need to look after yourself and your own in the way that you are expressing that anger, because you are indeed laying a seed where a harvest will come. But look how Demeter is going. She's passing from summer into winter. You know, this is not a springtime card. This is an autumn time card. So again, there's the idea of needing to gather your resources, you know, not quite batten down the hatches, but make sure that the larder is well stocked. Excuse the light, the sunshine, it's quite cloudy today, so it's beautiful sunshine and cloud, and I don't think my camera can cope. So it goes from really dark to really light. And here, using that as an example, here is the card that's going from light to dark. And it's saying that this light that is being offered by the archons, the suppressive forces, is not entirely true. And therefore, since Artemis is a huntress goddess, I would say that they're aiming people at the wrong target. I think that's the best way I can say it, because this, whatever you may be angry about and wanting to change things about, it's a process. It's followed immediately by Hermes with the Journey card. So that's saying to me that, you know, expressing your anger the once in whatever form, that's not enough. There's work to be done. There is a path to be followed, a path that has to be concentrated on the idea of new beginnings. Now, bear in mind, you could say that Eosta and Thanatos are symbolizing the same thing. Thanatos is symbolizing the end of something. Eosta is symbolizing the new beginning in something. With every new beginning, there is an end. That's what the Death card in Tarot is all about. But I'm not convinced that the ending that is promised here is going to be a stable basis for the new beginning here, because with White Buffalo Woman presiding, offering peace, Vishnu with balance, I'm really thought to say, tread gently. There is no, it's not that there is no hurry, because if there's something you're that angry about, you're going to feel that there's a hurry. But what's the phrase? It's not a game of drafts, it's a game of chess. And that's the image that is really playing in my head here, to say, be strategic. And if you don't know what to do next, wait. Don't just go out, you know, don't just confront someone immediately. Don't just go and arrange the protest march for tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. Wait and watch. And in the meantime, gather your own resources as you are needed to, but not in a way that is overly possessive, overly aggressive, overly defensive, because what you are asked to defend yourself against and what you really need to defend yourself against are two different things. And it's almost with the Lilith and Aradia cards here, I'm getting the feeling that the first thing that you need to defend yourself against, to a certain extent, is yourself. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, but I'm just saying be very, very careful about rash action or action that is performed in anger, because Vishnu would advise against this. The White Buffalo Woman would advise against this, and Set here on the Archon level would love it, you know. So, and what's any Archon wearing the mask of Set wants is something that you don't want to do. So let's that's everything that I can pull, because it's like there's there's a false light being offered, and then there's a real light being offered. Now, obviously, full moons are about revelation. Catch the video with me and David Fisher discussing about the new moon, the full moon, because there's loads about revelation and things coming to the surface within that, and about how to set your path. As I recall, we're getting shown lots of things that we don't want. And that's going to enable us to see what we do want. So let's see. Oh, I meant to pull a card from the Isis Oracle. I'll do that afterwards, after I've done the clarification with these cards. Let's have a look what we've got. So, with Isis, we have one of the aliens, Lim or Dram. Who's so whatever that we are being asked to defend ourselves against, it's an old argument, it's dead, you know. It's a load of nonsense that we are needing to protect ourselves against this certain thing. There's new issues in the world, there's new problems that need to be faced. It's not, well, basically it's not the same old paradigm, which is what that full moon is all about as well. So for Set, we have Londo Malari here. So I believe I heard on a podcast this morning that HBO Max are rerunning Babylon 5. So but we have a very questionable character, Londo Malari here. Facing Oblivion is the name of the card. So this chaos that comes across, it gives certainly I'm not going to say the illusion, because it could be true. You know, just because it's based on a lie doesn't mean it's not true when there are quite serious powers out in the world. But there's so many ways I can interpret that card. Facing Oblivion, like the Archon's way of thinking, is facing Oblivion. There's a positive way of looking at this. But that thinking and that chaos can make you believe that you are facing oblivion of something. You know, not necessarily of you, but of your way of life, of beliefs, of what have you. And they're using that as the fuel for you to be put into that protective frame of mind. So with Thanatos, we have the card, What Were You Thinking? That rather implies to me that there's a public reaction of, they did what? What now? You know, there's also that there could be some glaring mistake that is made in front of you and makes you go, what? Why? Where's your motives on that? That might not be something that you necessarily have power over, but it may be something that you need to look at to say, hang on a minute, we need to work out what we really need to do now. So with Manon Bridgerton Redemption, we've got fighter pilots. It's the Black Omega Squadron card. So these are like Psycorp, who are sort of one of the big bads, or they're not the biggest bad, but they're a big bad within the Babylon 5 series. But with that Manon Bridget card, it's almost like someone's finding a way that's not entirely honest to rebuild a reputation. Now, whether that's on a national level or just a personal level within your own life, it's something that you should be able to see through. So with Artemis, we have a card that I've got no idea what it is. Oh, no, I haven't. I misread it. Adrazi Sunhawk. Right. I thought it said Orazi. I was like, what? Who are the Orazi? Drazi Sunhawk. So it's a fighter ship again. So again, these these two cards both imply being fightership's swift movement. You know, think swords in the tarot deck. But whatever the target is that we are being offered to say, that's the problem, that's at fault, yeah, that's just not true. And it's moving, you know, the conversation around that moves quite fast, so fast that you might not be able to keep up quite so easily. But it also seems to be something that's just a little bit senseless. Right, let's have a look what the gods have got to say here. So, oh, this is beautiful, especially if you're a Babylon 5 fan. So with Eosta, New Beginnings, and White Buffalo Woman with Peace, we have one of the Lanier cards, Lanier being the assistant of Delenn. And he's, again, implies that sense of, sorry about the sunshine. Well, I mean, I'm not, but he is a character that implies that balance, implies that sense of the sense of right and wrong is the most important thing to hang your sense of honor onto. Rather than honor to your caste or your family or your workplace, or, you know, in his terms, his religious caste or what have you, the loyalty to the truth is the most important way of displaying honor. That, oh, okay, that came out fast. Looks like we've got some more cards. Balance, right, patrol fleet. Balance implies strength. So whatever you do, make sure you're on good footing. And hunted and well publicized. This, right, whatever it is that you are justifiably angry about, then you don't need to take immediate action because it will be talked about. It's not hidden in shadows. Remember what I was saying, the full moon is all about revelation. Now, with Demeter, we have the hunted card. Now, I don't play the collectible card game, so I've got no idea what the rules are actually meaning when I read them. Intrigue participant aftermath. Seeking for answers. Like I say, something was revealed, and especially with that being over Thanatos and what were you thinking, that there's answers that are coming that are maybe not particularly tasteful. The word I had in mind was delectable, but why I had that word in my mind, I don't know. But they're not particularly tasteful, but they need to be isolated to be understood. And then finally, with Hermes and Journey, we've got independent support. Right, so whatever this discussion of something that you are justifiably angry about is about, you do receive support as long as you are aware that it is a process. It's not something that's going to be sorted in half hour. Now, since we have the Isis card here, admittedly, this is an Archon wearing the mask of Isis, appearing as Isis, as that protective goddess, then nonetheless, I believe that Isis would have something to say about that. So, Isis Oracle. Let's see what we have. Now, this is quite a dense, if you've ever bought the Isis Oracle, great for meditation, great for thinking. It's quite a dense card. Okay, this one wanted to come out. So we have Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. I've no idea. Let's have a look. Oh, nearly. Sirius is a celestial goddess, a star of unconditional love and wisdom at an extremely high vibration. It brings deep soul awakening, spiritual gifts, and a high capacity for divine service. That's quite interesting considering what we were talking about, because there is, with whatever we are confronted with under the light of this new full moon and however long it carries on, there is a correct path. I don't like saying something like that normally, but there is no doubt that sense of balance, self-preservation, but in the right way. Self-preservation, like I say, the first thing that you are told to defend yourself against here is yourself. So preventing rash action that can lead you into that trap of the whole, what were you thinking? That Thanatos here is, so there's a chance to make changes here. I mean, as we discussed in the astrology show with David, there is a chance to make changes here really for the good. But there is the chance to, if there's a chance to make changes for the good, then there's a chance to do the exact opposite. Like when you work with the Goetia, if a spirit can do one thing, then it can do the opposite of that thing, because it is the return direction, the opposite direction, however you want to look at it. So, back to Lady of the Stars. Lady of the Stars is also an empowerment of all the other oracles in this deck. She tells you to pay attention because something significant is taking place right now. Now, that is fascinating. When you look at the various stories in the news at the moment, or you can look at events within your life at the moment, something significant is happening. We do have that sense of the death card, Thanatos here, in our lives from the full moon, because it's telling us to look at the things that we thought we wanted and now we've realized that we don't, and those things we can throw over to Thanatos here. But with new beginnings, it's like you're clearing space. Now, you don't necessarily know where the new beginning is going to be heading, but walking a path of balance, that's telling you how to actually get there, because it is a journey, but you do have support. So, anything else? Syrian energy, I will just read a little bit, I won't do it for long. Syrian energy takes the inner path and the spiritual healing journey into a whole new stratosphere. It is wise, ancient, and an extremely high vibrational energy. It takes a certain level of soul evolution to be able to consciously register Syrian light and transmit it on this planet. The heart in question must be able to consciously cultivate unconditional love for it to occur. However, we can still receive Syrian light and healing assistance even if we are still learning to more consistently come from an unconditional love. Well, that's a bit, thank you for that, because it is something we're all learning. And that's why we're here, is to learn how to do that in whatever way, shape or form. And to learn how to do it means we have to spend time not doing it so that we know what the difference is, so we can learn how to do it. But I'm probably preaching to the converted. If you're watching my channel, you know this stuff. We will feel it more and more strongly as we grow spiritually, but even in our learning phase, we can open our hearts to this divine celestial goddess, that's the real Isis, not the Archon, and allow her through her priestess... No, it's not. It's just the divine goddess, full stop. And allow her through her priestess, Lady Isis, to bless us with genuine spiritual gifts. There is, if you look at the Sabian symbol for this full moon, that idea of white light passing through a prism and being split into a rainbow, to me, it's not saying it's being split into its component parts. It's being... the whole spectrum is being revealed. That's the way I would like to look at it. And there's like I say, there's deception here, whether this is on a personal or a global level, that offers to mistranslate that or cause you just to, ignore the rainbow over there. Please look at this mushroom cloud over here. And yes, that's probably a bad image, but hey, I did say these are dramatic. Right, so I've not really dealt with a Airathel or Airatel, the angel given to the from the Oracle of Heaven and Hell, with propagation of light. But I think that propagation of light, if you look at the Sabian symbol, if you look at what the archons are doing and what is concentrated down here, so we're looking for that inner light rather than any outer one. But what's interesting is that it's come up with my favourite Goetic, well, not my second favourite Goetic spirit, but definitely one of my favourites, Renove. You've heard me speak about him on my readings before. Now here he has the tagline of slavery, but what Renove's story was that he was a demon that used to go around the world spreading goodwill and diplomacy. So obviously if a king was wanting to go to war and wanting to get the war machine moving, then of course Renove was considered to be a demon. Renove promotes understanding. He promotes sitting down and talking to people, which again is slightly contrary to that knee-jerk reaction of, oh my God, what were you thinking? It's sometimes far better to say, oh, okay, but what were you thinking at the time? And are you ending up where it wants to be? So it's same words, totally different sort of, not like someone storming into the room going, what were you thinking? Why would you do that? So this overall is saying that there is I would say there is an opening for a pathway for evolution. But as ever, tune in same time next week, same back time, same back channel. As ever, that can be under threat by us getting distracted. Right, let's now have a look at the tarot for each individual sign. So if I put that there off camera, so we'll start off with Aries. Now, I can't even remember what these... this is a really old, well, not really old, 20-year-old, bit more. Art Nouveau tarot. I don't think it's still on the market. I've not seen it when I'm... Not that I spend ages going through Amazon for new tarot decks. Now, you've got 4 cards, Aries. We've got the Queen of Coins, King of Staves, the World, and the 6 of Wands. So, that's actually quite sweet. Something that you have been nurturing, you are able to move ahead with and introduce it to the world where you will have victory. So if that was on a relationship level, because I always think of relationships with these cards, I don't know why, but that's saying if you've put the time and effort in to nurture something, it is now time to take a more definitive action, and the world is supporting you in this. That's really nice, actually. But it doesn't have to be a relationship thing. This could be a project that you have been wanting. Now, bear in mind, new things with Mercury retrograde don't necessarily do a new thing, but what these cards are saying is this is something that you have been nurturing for quite some time. So it's not a new thing, it's a launching of something that's you've already been working on. Taurus, let's have a look for Taurus. And hopefully I will get a chance to timestamp these. I apologise if I don't. So we have Five of Swords, Moon, ooh, Five of Pentacles. So Taurus, you know what I was saying about that path of balance? Stick with that path of balance. I wouldn't want to get drawn into any conflict right now because you do not know all the ins and outs. You do not know, you may hear that somebody has done something and, but you've only got half the story. You've got the wrong end of the stick or something. And by taking action on that, you risk breaking something that you do not want to break. You risk leaving yourself without something. So just be careful under the light of this full moon, Taurus. Now, I mean, as much as I've watched loads of astrology videos, I haven't gone through the predictions for each individual sign on each video I've watched, so I've no idea whether that's in line with the astrology or not. I couldn't tell you. Gemini, your turn. So, okay, we have Eight of Cups, the Hanged Man, and I need another card. I want to pull the bottom card, okay. And Ten of Cups, oh, that's nice. No wonder I wanted to pull the bottom card. Right. If there's something, Gemini, that you are encouraged to walk away from, or more, no, that's not the right way to put it. If there is something that you feel that you are driven to pay your attention to instead, do it. It may be confusing, but it leads to some form of happiness. Now, going for the on the story of these cards, so we look at Eight of Cups first, Hangman, and then the same two people again together on the Ten of Cups. So even if this is a person that you are not paying attention to for a while, don't worry, it will get better. And when I say you're not paying attention to them, you are deliberately not paying attention to them. It's not just a in your mind going sort of, oh, I forgot you were there. You know, it's not that sort of not paying attention. It's deliberately, no, I've got to focus on this right now. Thank you very much. And you can wait your turn. But as confusing as that will be, that leads to a good end. Cancer. Let's see what we've got for you. Okay, plenty come out here. So we have the World card with the King of Staves. That's always good. As you know, King of Wands is my favourite card. Oh, this is nice. This is nice, even though it isn't the nicest. So we have the World, the King of Staves, the Six of Pentacles. So there's the looking at value, and the King of Cups. So whatever that World card is, I believe that that's the world's telling you something. The world is bringing around some form of, going by the top deck of the overall reading, there is a change happening. Your world is suddenly different, and you are encouraged to take the precise action. Remember, walk that balanced path. However, you may well be recovering, because if you look at this card, we have, let me get it so the light's not reflecting. There we go. We've got the lady from the Five of Pentacles who was crying on that card. She's still not great, but she is now receiving support. And she's now receiving somebody who can, Six of Pentacles, apply value. But I'm really led to the fact that his pentacle, he's bringing a book, he's bringing knowledge, he's bringing understanding, which makes you feel okay about it. King of Cups here. And with there being the two kings, this again, it's reinforcing your own personal authority. And also there's that sense of a completion here. I don't normally compare the kings to tens, but I do have that sense of completion, certainly with that King of Cups. And with the King of Wands here, if you are taking the right action, I rather feel that there's an element of it's about time, because you have support, you will see the value in moving forward. So whatever it is that the world is telling you under this full moon, and when I say the world, again, walking the path of balance and not being sucked into nonsense that is being told to you, but whatever the world is telling you, that bit in here goes, yeah, I can hear that. Pay attention, act on it. It may be a hard action to take, but it comes out okay. And at least it comes out that you feel okay about what you've done. And what I really love is the way that the fish are erupting from this King of Cups cup. Is it feels like not only are you surprised that you are emotionally okay about it, you are actually surprised by the end result of your actions, whatever that means. I will, being Cancer rising, I will be paying attention. So, Leo, your turn. See what we've got. So we have victory to start off with, Leo. Oh, you're starting off in a good place. And it's almost like this full moon is giving you a chance to well, Four of Swords. So it's to give you a chance to rest. This is the card I want. It's giving you a chance to rest, but it's not. This victory isn't it. This victory that you may encounter is one that helps you work out. Well, I want to say work out your cardinal directions. Work out that way is forward. That way is backwards, been there, not going there again. That's off the path. That's off the path. That's where I'm going. And it's implying, here's your own card, Leo. So it's implying that you have strength, that you will get given strength, that you are very powerful in your Leoness. But it also says that there may be a little bit of challenge in the direction that you choose. But that's fine, because you've got more than enough strength to be dealing with that. So that's really... Card keeps wandering. That's really quite positive for you there, Leo. So we have now Virgo. Oh, and we start with... everybody's getting the World card this time. So we start with the World. Let's see what the context is for you, Virgo. Right, so we have, okay, you've got 3 cards, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Swords. Now, I know it's the 8 of Swords. As you know, I have a mixed relationship with the 8 of Swords. Something that you have been working on that has become public. You know, maybe not within the time of the full moon. It might have become public a couple of months ago or what have you. But anyway, it's become public that you are working on a thing and somebody is providing some form of obstacle to you doing that. So whether that's a regulation that is stopping you from opening that shop, or whether it's a parental figure saying, you're doing what? What are you wasting your time for on all of that sort of thing? However, this opposition that you receive enables you to assert your own authority here, and actually promises to have a useful ending. The fact that you have encountered this opposition implies that you're doing something right. And it will actually, I think, to be honest, I think this opposition occurring assists in your achieving. Right, I have a parcel arriving. Bear with me. Let me just pause. And I'm back, I think. Am I recording? Yep. So, where was I? Yeah, this obstacle, it works out in your interest in however that you are facing it. But there's an element of teamwork here. But I also get the feeling that with the teamwork, that whoever you are that you are working with keeps changing. There's more than just one other person involved here. There is somebody involved with the obstacle, there is somebody involved with your victory over the obstacle, and there's somebody been involved with you working at the same thing over and over and over again. So, Libra, let's see what we've got for you. Okay. Okay, they're diving out. So we start off with the Nine of Wands. There's a sense of how interesting, because these are not, like I said, this is one of my oldest tarot decks. This is like the third or fourth tarot deck that I ever got. So we've got the Nine of Wands, Queen of Coins, and then the Three of Swords. But as you can see, that they're not a traditionally drawn deck. So what I'm feeling from this is there's almost like somebody is showing you something again. You know, that's the feeling that I'm getting. It's like, oh God, they're doing that again. You know, and they're doing it for your attention. And you have to make your mind up. Am I actually looking after myself here by letting me be exposed to all this again? Or am I going to just move on to somewhere new, or just shift my attention to something new? Just because maybe I need to sneak away. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, you know. So if we're looking at this in a relationship context, I'm not saying go and have an affair, but I am saying go and have a shed at the bottom of the garden where you can have some quiet time, or go and find that topic that you've always been interested in, but you've never quite had chance to dash into and study. Now's your opportunity. Or, well, I won't say now's your opportunity, because someone here is seeking your attention. But the feeling that I get is that you're just going, not this again. And it's not so much pick up your ball and go home, but it is, yeah, I haven't got time for this. Not if I want to look after myself. So I'm going to wander off and do something else. Right, so Scorpio, and of course Venus is in your sign, Scorpio. So whether you're moon, sun, rising, whatever. Oh, I probably should have said that when I started doing this section of the reading. But yeah, so these can go for moon, sun, rising. Oh, what we got? Oh, 3 cards. It's surprising how this is working out nicely here. So we've got the Three of Swords again, the Tower, and the Page of Cups. Now that's really interesting as well. So Scorpio, there is some pain that you have the opportunity to shatter all of the, well, I'm being led to say illusions around it. So whether it's a pain that you can actually own, you know, like the wound of Chiron, where you get to say, well, this is just part of me, and it's only one part of me. It is part of my nature, and I accept it as part of my nature, but there's also so much more to my nature. But with this Tower card, it always reminds me of, and I don't even know if I'm accurate, but for some reason, this Tower card always reminds me of Stephen King's The Dark Tower. So it's like it's an opening, because you're looking through a doorway at a distant tower, but one has to ask, where's that doorway? You know, there's this sense that you're in one tower looking towards another where the lightning is striking. So you are somewhat removed from a source of pain being removed, resolved, sorted, but also that this pain that may have been a burden for you, can also be used as, or the rejection of it can be used as a tool to open whole new worlds. Because this Page of Cups, now, I don't think the camera, will the camera focus on it? Not as good as it could do, no. But that page isn't just trying to hold that cup and balance it so that the fish remains in. He's actually staring into it, entranced, fascinated. So this tower implies to me the removal of either the source or the shadow of some form of pain, some form of injury, you know, whether that's through acceptance. And if it is an acceptance, it's an acceptance where it's not just a slow one that builds up. It's like a hits like lightning. Oh my God. Okay, well, that needn't have such a controlling influence on me anymore. But it also opens up a whole new world for you where you find fascination. But there's also a trap implied in that, because you can be fascinated by the way that you are healing from this and then spend too much time analysing the way that you are healing with this rather than chasing after the new fascination. And when I say fascination, I don't mean that in an idle sense. I mean it in that way that something lights a fire in you that you hadn't, maybe it hadn't done before, or maybe you just hadn't known about this thing before, and then all of a sudden, oh, now that's interesting, I need to know more. Right, Sagittarius. Oh, okay, that card wants to come out. We start with the Lovers card. You don't get better than that, really, do you? So some form of choice, some form of comfort, some form of evolution. Yes. So, Sagittarius, if you are looking to enter into some form of partnership, it will produce results. Now, we've got the Lovers, Three of Cups, King of Cups. But this Three of Cups isn't necessarily three people having a party. It's the arrival of a new addition to the family. So that's taking the three motif into movement, into multiplication. That the efforts that you put in within this Lovers card, within this union or this choice that you make, I've noticed there's no angel on this card. So this is something that, whether there's an angel presiding over it or not, it feels right. And it is coming together with something, whether this is a person, a skill, an organization, a belief, whatever. It produces results for you that you actually feel quite okay with. So I would say, Sagittarius, that this is a form of self-exploration under the light of this full moon, that by working with another actually produces quite a positive and fruitful result. It provides that harvest. It gives you those things that you need to hide away for the winter. You know, not hide away. No, what's the word? You know, to stock up with for the winter. Capricorn. Obviously, because if I haven't said it already, which I don't think I have, Like, share, subscribe while you're here. So Capricorn, we have the Four of Swords, the Two of Wands, and the Six of Cups. I almost feel like this implies that that something that you may view as a step backwards is not necessarily a step backwards. Because this Six of Cups, he's looking towards the end of the reading, so he's facing that way. He's the Four of Cups is saying you've had your time to rest, you've had your time to heal, you now know what the directions are. Because remember, that's how I interpret this particular, Four of Swords. Because when all said and done, it's a floating sword in the sky. You know, it's a bit like the three wise men following the star, eh? And then we have the Two of Wands. But this, to me, obviously there is a choice for union here. But being the Two of Wands, one of the choices is some form of union. And it may well be that something that is revealed from the past, or that this, whoever you, or whatever you are, you have the option of unionizing with. Unionizing with? Yeah, I'll use that word. Unionizing with may be something that was from the past, or some form of fact you learn about the past, some form of revelation about the past, but it opens up new doors for you. It's almost like it, by getting together with someone, whether that's just for a coffee and a conversation where something is revealed, or whether that is a be mine, whatever it is, there's an element of the past associated with it, but it's opening up a new future for you there. So, like I say, I wouldn't say that that was an ex, but it might be an old friend that you are suddenly seeing in a new light, or an old career option that you feel like maybe I want to return to, but take what I've learned in these other fields back with me. Aquarius, let's see what we've got for you, Aquarius. Okay, so we start with the Knight of Swords. I'm not taking the whole lot because that's just way too many cards. Okay, Knight of Swords, Three of Swords. Sorry, Aquarius. But as I say, these cards I interpret a little differently. And the Wheel. Now, it's not as bad as I thought it was. So, Aquarius, you will be relieved to hear this, no doubt. So, and also this Knight of Swords, I don't feel that this is you being angry about something. There is some form of swift action taken, may well be by you, and it creates a reaction. Or there is a swift reaction piece of information, an angry piece of information that with this Three of Swords tell me that makes you go, no, hang on a minute. That's not right. That's not everything. That's not the full story. That's not the ins and outs on it. And this starts quite a fated path for you. Although from your point of view, it's almost like you've got that Stingray tagline. Anything can happen in the next half hour. But no, there is a fated path for you here for when you are faced with this sudden news or sudden reaction. You go, hang on a minute, that's not right. Now, you know that it's not right. Now, you either know that it's not right because you know why it's not right, and then that is your secret to keep or reveal. And, the penny drops and you're like, oh my God, they think that, and that's not correct. And I know what the truth is. So there's a responsibility on you there, whether you reveal this truth or not. Either way, it sets that wheel of fate in motion. So and what I really want to say is that I feel that there is this whole thing may appeal more to the more secretive side of your nature, that Aquarius loner side of your nature, where you go, they're wrong. And you know what? I don't necessarily need to abuse them of this notion. They don't need to know that they're wrong. That might be one reaction that you have. So, again, look at the bigger picture, walk that path of balance. If you put yourself at risk by revealing whatever it is that you know, then maybe it's time just to at least wait till Mercury retrograde is over. So finally, Pisces, just before I bring this to a close, 3 cards for Pisces. Oh, and there's 2 wanting to come out there. So we've got, once again, 8 of Swords. Oh, goody. 6 of Pentacles. So there's that obstacle again. And then that immediate support that comes in. That sense of different... that's interesting. So it's that sense of support that comes in. Someone coming in with that extra information, or I don't even want to say information. I want to say like reference. It almost feels like within that book is the entire Encyclopedia Britannica. Do you know what I mean? So then we move. We've discussed all of those cards here. With the 8 of Swords, to me here on this one is some obstacle, someone trying to limit you in some way. And you go, no, hang on a minute. But here, it's the fact that this has been tried does sort of hurt, but there is support that you receive, makes you go, do you know, there's a blessing in here. So this is the 9 of Pentacles. But notice how the lady who is the one crying in the 6 of Pentacles is now, ooh, look at my nice shiny new pentacle. Look, isn't this beautiful? And she has support. She has friend there. And then we have the 7 of Cups to go with it. So there's options on how to move forward. And bear in mind, look at how much mist there is on this card. So remember, if you think about the traditional 7 of Cups, there's all the clouds around around all the various cups that are hovering in the sky. So even this, someone trying to prevent you from doing something, that in and of itself may not be the bad thing that it first appears to be. So this person might be the one that is putting this into context, this initial obstacle into context, where initially you're upset about it, but then you go, actually, you know, it's not that bad. Because let's face it, we don't know what the truth is. What a perfect card to end this entire reading, because we are coming up to the most, the penultimate degree of Pisces for this full moon. And look, there's Pisces not knowing what's going on. Not because Pisces doesn't know what's going on, but because Pisces has that lack of boundaries and knows too much that is going on. So knows that it could be any flavour of things. So if any of that made sense for any of you, or any comments, comment down below. Like I said, press that like button. Please subscribe to the channel while you're here. It really does help. Don't miss out on the show that I did with astrologer David Fisher about the full moon. And also, I keep giving him a plug, give Spencer Michaud Astrologies. He's got a live stream, 1 p.m. Eastern, Sunday, for the full moon. So that looks interesting as well. So in which case, see you later. Good luck with the full moon, folks. And then straight into Aries straight after it. And remember, straight after the full moon, the moon is void of course for a while. So you have time to digest whatever the full moon brings for you. And you don't need to act on it immediately. Okay, see you all later, folks. Cheers.